Early morning. Bayou Sauvage awakens. A package, bound in rope, breaks the water's surface and floats in the gentle current. From the reeds near shore, the Creole king emerges and moves in for a closer look.
Approximately 7:30 that morning, I was driving down the road and observed a couple of alligators in a tug-of-war with something looked like an old sail.
Wrapped inside the sail, the alligators find a body.
And then later on in the morning, I guess the alligators were able to get the sail from around the body and proceeded to start eating the limbs off.
Police move in, but the gators are reluctant to surrender their prize.
They were playing tug-of-war for a good while with this alligator, and two more alligators, actually smaller than the first one, grabbed onto the body.
What is left of the body is brought to the coroner's office in Orleans Parish.
And we noticed that the hands were tied behind his back and tied in a hog-tied fashion to the ankles.
The bindings rule out any finding of an accidental death. The coroner, however, needs more before he can turn it over to the homicide table. The gators had ravaged the corpse from just under the chin, all the way down the left side of the chest. The right side, however, is still intact. It is here that the coroner finds a single stab wound and makes his case for murder. Dental records confirm the body is that of Lester Hansen, a man convicted of child molestation, first in Alabama, then in Louisiana. Homicide detective Bradley Rhodes believes Hansen might have tried once again to prey on someone's child and might be the reason his body found its way to the bottom of a Louisiana bayou. In New Orleans, Lester Hansen worked for the city's recreational department. Detectives quickly focus on one parent, a father whose family Hansen had gotten especially close to. The father's name, Ricky Alford. Ricky Alford has a past of his own, a string of arrests for petty crime and assault. If Hansen got close to one of Ricky's kids, Alford would be a likely candidate to retaliate. Rhodes, however, has no physical evidence that links Alford to the crime.
He disappeared from the city. We tried to hunt him down. We couldn't locate him.
Alford resurfaces a year later in Massachusetts. He is charged and convicted of a second murder. The conviction tells New Orleans detectives Alford can kill, but offers no new leads in the Hansen case. As Ricky Alford sits in a Massachusetts jail cell, the pulse of New Orleans continues to beat. The memory of Lester Hansen's death grows dimmer. The case, over time, goes cold. Until one day when a man decides to steal a bike. Early afternoon at Tulane University, a young man eyes a rack of mountain bikes. Under his coat, he grips a pair of pliers. A police squad rolls past. The cop inside recognizes Benjamin Scardino, a street addict and a thief. To avoid a charge of criminal trespassing, Benjamin Scardino is willing to trade information on a murder.
Homicide deal.
Cold case detective Dwight Deal takes Scardino's story.
He's anxiously telling me about his brother and his first cousin being involved in a murder. And this murder was also involving another person who he said was incarcerated on another murder upstate, is the term he used.
The man upstate is Ricky Alford, incarcerated on a charge of murder in Massachusetts. The brother and cousin Benjamin Scardino fingers are Raymond Scardino and Aristide Landry, two locals known to the NOPD as petty thieves. Benjamin Scardino says the three killed Lester Hansen and dumped his body in the bayou some 3 years earlier. Scardino and Landry talked to cold case detectives for more than 3 hours.
Almost run out of tape just trying to deal with what they had to say.
As Deal listens, the pair begins to unroll their version of what happened to Lester Hansen one night on the bayou.
Me and Aristide, we both love to fish and swim. We're outdoors people. And Ricky would come by and get us. and invite us out to a fishing camp. So we decided to go out there one day and go fishing.
Typical fishing day, just a regular day. As far as we're going fishing, if you can't catch no fish, you drink a few beers.
This gentleman came up to the pier where we were, and him and Ricky stepped off to the side and had a little small talk. They chit-chatted for a little bit.
And that was my first real encounter with Lester, and right from the bat, you could tell he had homosexual tendencies because he was, a real flaming queen, a real old flaming drag queen.
Lester Hansen leaves the three to fish in peace. As night falls, he returns with an invitation to dinner.
Go ahead and went on over to his house with him.
And Ricky commences to tell us about how this man molested his children.
The three men sit down to dinner with Hansen. The drinking continues. Alfred's words give way to violence.
We had all been drinking, we had been. And I guess it was just eating him away.
He grabbed a knife off the kitchen counter, about a steak-sized knife, and cut him across the throat.
Yeah, he stabbed him in the back. He stood over him and took that knife and plunged it into that man's back.
As Lester Hansen bleeds out, Ricky Alford drops the knife. Neither Scardino nor Landry make a move to call the police.
I'm not a saint, but I'm not a killer. I had one out, and I took it.
The two men cast their lot with Ricky Alford and decide to help him dump the body.
Cleaned up the house for about 3 hours. We were in that house cleaning up. There's buckets of blood, God. It was a mess.
And that is the story of Ray Scardino and Aristide Landry. Two ex-cons in the wrong place at the wrong time. Deal's next stop, a Massachusetts prison, where Ricky Alford has a different take on what happened on the bayou.
Mr. Scardino started to talk to me about the problem I had with my children. Scardino started telling me we ought to do something about it.
According to Alford, the three men then started to interrogate Hansen.
Well, Raymond got upset. He said, "I'm gonna get the son of a bitch." He leaned over, ran up and hit him. Mr. Buddy came around and hit Mr. Lester with a stick. Mr. Scardino had Mr. Hansen by the hair with his head leaned back with a small knife. He took the knife, henceforth cutting Mr. Lester's throat with it. Raymond Scardino started saying this is what he deserved.
After slitting the throat, the victim fell onto the ground and was pushed onto the floor, and they continued to question him. And I guess realizing the severity of his wound and realizing the seriousness of these people and their intentions, he decided to confess.
Henceforth, I turned around, rolled Lester over on his back, and took the knife and stuck it in his back.
Alfred's story pushes Raymond Scardino and Aristide Landry back into the picture. Raymond Scardino, Aristide Landry, and Ricky Alford are indicted for murder. In his second statement to Deal, Alford takes complete responsibility for killing Hansen, dovetailing with Scardino and Landry's story that he acted alone. The enraged father defense accomplishes two things. It takes Raymond Scardino and Aristide Landry off the hook for the actual killing, and it probably allows Alford to avoid the death penalty.
Given the evidence the way it was once we were in a trial posture, we were a week prior to trial, we really didn't see any other alternatives other than to plead out the case. And it was disappointing, knowing the amount of effort that Detective Deal had put into it.
On July 30th, 1999, Ricky Alford pleads guilty to murder and is sentenced to 15 years in Louisiana State Prison. As for Raymond Scardino and Aristide Landry,
I'm not sure that I classify Scardino and Landry in the same way. They may have had a bigger role in this case. I believe, again, that they all three went in knowing that something very bad was going to happen in that house on the bayou. But to what degree, we may never know.
Scardino and Landry each plead guilty to manslaughter. They are given credit for time served and set free.